boxing fans that's asking Oscar De La Hoya to throw Williams Zepeda in there with Shakur Stevenson after his knockout, his second round knockout Saturday night. I didn't see it, but as I said before, I thought about watching it, man, but I was watching the Denver game, and then, you know, multitasking as usual. But I mean, it's funny, and I'm not talking about the Pacific fan, he isn't Pacific fan, but it's funny how the fans, you know, want to put pressure on Oscar. Oscar did more than his part, and I didn't even know De La Hoya, like, fan as the man, as a fighter, hell of a fighter, or as a promoter, but Oscar De La Hoya then sacrificed enough of his pieces around boxing. You know, people need to do this. People need to try to make the fights that De La Hoya been consistently doing. Remember, he tried to make the Rigondeaux fight versus Leo Santa Cruz, and Leo Santa Cruz called Daddy Al to come save him. He did make Joseph Diaz and Gary Russell. You know, he made Canelo and Chavez Jr. with Al Heyman. People forget Al Heyman represented Chavez Jr. in that fight. He made that fight. He was willing to make Munguia and Jamal Charlo. And they didn't want to let the zone be a part of it. Munguia is the A side in that fight. No matter how you cut it, you want to talk about resumes and all that bullshit, that's cool. But Munguia put asses in the seats. Charlo ain't fought in 600 or some days, and that's the karma they get for fucking over Jaime Munguia. Sometimes you got to compromise to get what you want. Munguia had, you know, Munguia is the one with the juice, not Jamal Charlo. That's why Showtime won't never approve none of the Jamal Charlo fights, because they lose money on Jamal Charlo. It's the word on the street. And now he talking about possibly going right into a Demetrius Andrade fight because he ain't got no fucking choice, because Showtime don't want to fuck with him. Thanks to Daddy Al Heyman again. I mean, you can just keep going on. He made the Ryan Garcia fight. I mean, with Tank Davis. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya has done his fair share. It's time for Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum to do the same thing. Now, at the end of the day, I would love to see it, but what is it worth Oscar Wilde by putting him in there with Shakur Stevenson? What is it, Williams Zepeda? What is it worth his while, since y'all love talking about business? What do we get out of it? It's not a belt, a mandatory spot. We all know WBC can turn into a franchise belt, you know, all that bullshit that come with that. So it's a good fight, you know, for a title or unification down the line. But you know, but like I said before, De La Hoya didn't sacrifice enough of his roster, and his roster ain't that deep. Now they signing some good prospects and stuff, and he's starting to get on his P's and Q's. But damn, we all gonna start asking Al Heyman to do the same thing. Al Heyman, he ain't got no money, but he sure want to be in charge. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you see I'm gonna make this analogy. Anytime you see a relationship where a dude ain't got no money and he in charge, the household is in shambles, my nigga, or the bitch running the relationship. So at the end of the day, come on, they needed all that to stop Ryan Garcia. So they knew the injury. I'm gonna talk about this too coming up. They knew the injury, or already have. They knew he had an injury. They rehydration, catch weighted him. They did all types of shit. Had him mow in his camp. That's how they knew he had the injury. Like, we're not gonna start asking Bob to send Killer's play. And I don't think Bob got a problem with sending Killer's play. Bob feel like he got the best in the world. When Al Heyman gonna be forced to start sending his people over somewhere without the ultimate advantage? Only time he sent people over there is when he got no more use for them. That's called a spade a spade. Now that you know, people that came and whooped PBC fighters so much, and they didn't win abroad and got their ass whooped so much, now they got to start tying other fighters' hands behind their backs to have a chance at beating them. It's crazy to me. So let's just call a spade in this boxing shit. De La Hoya didn't sacrifice more than enough compared to everybody else. Let's start seeing Al Heyman send Gary Russell over to fight Devin Haney since he was running his mouth. You know, let's start seeing him send Jamal Charlo to fight Munguia. Munguia the one with the juice. Like Deontay Wilder could be headed to the zone depending on who the Saudis want to sell the rights to the fight to. Come on, but let's call a spade, dude. Like Oscar De La Hoya didn't done enough. And some. You know? So, people can say what they want to say, and I understand it. If you want to make the Zepeda fight, what do we get out of it? What does Zepeda get out of it? Shakur's not on the most pound for pound lists. He don't get a bill. He get a mandatory shot, which can mean absolutely nothing. It ain't William Zepeda fault. It ain't Oscar fault that Shakur Stevenson don't have the opponents to dance with, or he don't look exciting versus everybody. That ain't his fault. You know, but I get it. And if they make the fight, I'll be the first to support it. But since y'all love talking business so much, from a business standpoint, it don't seem to make a whole bunch of sense. It don't seem to make a whole bunch of sense. And that's from my vantage point of view. Not saying that I'm the most right or I'm the most wrong. This shit is banging up in this bitch, bruh. You know? But I get it though. You know, people want to see the top fights, and I think Zepeda got a great style to beat Shakur Stevenson, or at least make it competitive, coming straight forward. But you know, it'll tell you how Shakur Stevenson deal with pressure, and I think it's gonna, you know, I think he's gonna do a lot of moving. I think he just used a lot of angles. He's a very efficient fighter. I expect him to beat William Zepeda, but I think that type of fighter, you're gonna have to keep him off your ass. And I think Shakur Stevenson does a phenomenal job of maintaining distance and controlling distance to keep him off of him. Like he used angles. He don't, you know, if you know Shakur Stevenson, he don't waste movement. That's why he's so efficient. He don't waste no movement. He don't waste any movement. That's what make him so efficient. That's what make him so efficient. He don't waste no movement. So when you got a fighter in there who don't waste no movement, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, he knows angles, you know what I'm saying? He know how to do all that. So Zepeda gonna have a tough time, but he gotta be willing to take shots to get shots. And if the problem with most fighters, when they fight pressure fighters like William Zepeda, they panic when the pressure comes. Then they start moving, you move a lot, and the pressure fighter is just very efficient usually. And then you get tired, you can't move no more, and then he start teeing off on your ass. You know, then he start beating your ass because now you used your legs all up. It's hard to move for 12 rounds in a boxing match. And Shakur Stevenson know how to sit there, use angles, use enough movement to offset William Zepeda. He gonna know to throw the jab, he gonna know to step over, he gonna know to work up and down, and you know, so it ain't gonna really matter if he ain't got enough to keep him off of him, because he got the technical ability and he got the perpetual movement to not allow that to happen. You know, kind of like Pernell fought Chavez. You know, he took it straight to Chavez. That's how you got to fight them pressure fighters, bro. You got to take it straight to their ass, or you got to keep your movement real tight and calculated. Instead of moving and coming in and out, you just, you know, sometimes you just, you know, you take a little step back, or you pivot. You turn them. You make a reset, and when you turn them, you know what I'm saying, and they got to return and reset, then you get off. You know what I'm saying? You can just keep turning them. You know, when you start hitting them at will, they're going to start thinking twice about life. They're going to start thinking twice about coming in. For real. And that's how you do it. These dudes forget to go to their body. And then when a lot of guys moving away and they throwing punches, they punches ain't got no steam on it. And the pressure fighter just slip in, and then he countering, and he on balance. You know what I'm saying? He on balance to land those meaningful punches. He just break you down. See, them pressure fighters, they play the long game. They play the long game. They play the long game. They know in the 9th and 10th, 11th, 12th round, they want to step it up. And they usually some of the most efficient fighters in boxing. when done right. Usually got great stamina, got great chins, you know. You see a lot of guys down the stretch try to, and they beat them, they just fading down the stretch. They fading. You know, they just, oh, I'm tired and shit. I barely got his ass. You know, and that's just what it is. They just tend to fade. So, that's usually what it is. That's usually what it is, but, you know, it is what it is. Know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Hit the link tree, find me everywhere. Peace.